Oh dear Betty, it's really very hot today, and in the middle of October.
Yes, Litti, the weather is completely messed up. It's because of climate change, and we are going to feel it more and more in the future. Here in Luxembourg, we're still lucky because elsewhere, the consequences of climate change are much worse. For example, in Madagascar.
Madagascar? Where is that located? And what is happening there with climate change?
Come, let's go see together. Salama! My name is Sue. Welcome to my island, Madagascar. Madagascar is often called the Red Island because the soil is red in many places. It is the fourth largest island in the world and is more than 200 times larger than Luxembourg. The country separated from the African continent millions of years ago, and the island developed on its own for a very long time. That is why there are many animals and plants here that cannot be found anywhere else in the world. For example, most baobabs only grow here. And Madagascar is also a true paradise for our health, because many medicinal plants used to make new medicines are found here. The biodiversity of my island is among the richest in the world, thanks to the different landscapes. There are tropical forests full of life. Since it rains a lot there, cacao, vanilla, cloves, coffee, and many other things can be cultivated. But there are also regions where it rarely rains and where the soil is dry. These are the savannas and deserts of Madagascar, where very different plants and animals live.
Wow, it seems like an interesting place. So what's the problem?
Unfortunately, Madagascar is threatened by climate change. You know that the average temperature on Earth is gradually rising because humans emit a lot of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, such as CO2. This disrupts our climate. Sometimes it is too hot and too dry, and sometimes there are violent storms and other natural disasters. Glaciers are melting and oceans are rising, and we all contribute to this.
What? I didn't know that I also emit CO2.
Think a little. CO2 is produced, for example, when we use machines, when we take the car or the plane, when we buy a mobile phone or go on the internet, when we eat a lot of meat, or when we buy things we don't need, but also when we buy large houses and roads, or when we cut down forests.
But these are things that we do a lot in Luxembourg, right?
Yes, Litti. Pollution, waste, and overconsumption in Luxembourg and around the world threaten the planet and primarily affect poor and vulnerable countries such as Madagascar, which cannot adequately defend themselves against climate change.
It's true. Madagascar is one of the countries most exposed to the dangerous and natural disasters.
Being an island, many towns are threatened by rising oceans.
Coastal cities are also the first to be affected by tropical cyclones.
Between November and April, we experience several cyclones each year that bring terrible floods. Heavy rains and strong winds destroy homes and floods devastate fields. Thousands of families suffer from this. Sometimes, they no longer have food or drinking water. In the south of Madagascar, another danger looms. The soil is becoming increasingly dry and hundreds of thousands of people are experiencing a severe food crisis. In the southern dialect, it is called kere,
which means hunger. The problem is that it no longer rains at all here. Madagascar is thus facing the world's first famine caused by climate change, and the situation could worsen in the years to come. Many people can no longer rely on agriculture to feed themselves. Oh no, I didn't know that. And how are the children here in Madagascar doing with all these disasters caused by climate change? Many children say that they can no longer go to school because they are too hungry. This makes them tired, weak, and sick. These children all say they look forward to returning to school to learn and play with their friends. Families in the south also say that before they drew water from wells, but now the wells are dry. They have to buy water in containers, which is difficult when you don't have much money. In a country like Madagascar, sometimes you have to go far to find work. Some people have to leave everything behind for months, even their families, to earn money so that their children can survive. This really shows that human rights cannot be respected as long as the environment is not protected. Exactly. It makes me sad to see all this poverty in Madagascar. In comparison, we are doing very well in Luxembourg. My island is indeed the 5th poorest country in the world. Most people do not have enough resources to live a dignified life. I will tell you a secret. The forest helps us survive. Our population finds food there, firewood for cooking, and plants that can cure illnesses. This is what we do when there are no modern stores, kitchen appliances, or pharmacies. Unfortunately, our forests are being destroyed. Many trees are being cut down, mainly to produce charcoal. This sometimes happens illegally. Have you ever heard of the fire season? No, what is this? This is a period during which some farmers in Madagascar burn their fields. It is a very old tradition. The soil is supposed to become fertile thanks to the fire, so that it can be cultivated afterward. In the long term, however, it has negative effects on nature. The biggest problem is that the fire often spreads uncontrollably, causing forest fires. This can become a disaster, affecting entire villages where families lose everything. Farmers continue this tradition because they are not informed. They need help to find other ways to obtain food. With climate change, the situation will worsen as it will be drier, and plants will get sick or be more susceptible to fires. Thus, every year, large parts of our forests disappear. Naturally, this results in the death of many animals and plants. Our biodiversity, the natural wealth of Madagascar, is in danger. What will become of the lemurs and all the other endemic species? All these amphibians, butterflies, reptiles, turtles, and birds are disappearing. So if I understand correctly, Madagascar is already one of the poorest countries in the world. It is losing its forest, and on top of that, there is climate change with cyclones, long periods of drought, and extreme weather events. Unfortunately, yes, the island is among the countries that feel the impacts of climate change the most. Yet, it is one of those that contributes the least. This is also true for many other poor countries, such as Chad, Somalia, Syria, Congo, and Afghanistan, for example. They are only responsible for a tiny fraction of CO2 emissions, as they do not have as many machines, modern houses, cars, and airplanes But they are the ones who suffer the most when the climate gets disrupted. And it's not fair. Okay, Betty, I think I've heard enough. Let's go home to find some solutions. Thank you, Sue, for the warm welcome and the tour. I was happy to meet you. Have a safe trip home. Betty, I didn't expect our way of life in Luxembourg to have consequences on the climate in other countries. Can we do something about it? Yes, Litti, we can do something. We even have an important role to play in the fight against climate change. Small actions that everyone can take daily help heal our environment. For example, sorting and recycling waste, walking or cycling more often, not wasting food and water, protecting plants and animals. Think about it. In one part of the planet, we buy a lot of things and throw away huge amount of food, while in another, millions of people don't have enough to eat and suffer from hunger. We need to be more careful and consume more wisely. Above all, it is important to spread the message around us, because I know it now. Climate change affects everyone. We must act in a respectful manner towards other people, even those who live far away. And this is only possible if we protect our environment. This is a key to a healthier future. Do we want to leave future generations a colorful world where everyone can find their place? Humans, animals, and plants? That is what I hope for. I am counting on you.